From WMAQ-TV Chicago, this is News Channel 5 at 10.
It's the rematch of the decade. Two basketball titans clash on the court. Jordan and the Bulls are back with a vengeance, on fire to repeat the three-peat. But Malone and the Jazz have a score to settle. They're out for revenge as both teams try to claim the title of NBA World Champions. You saw it right here. It was a shot heard around Chicago to tie the score and send the game into the finals, into overtime. But in the end, the Jazz win it in a victory right on the razor's edge. Good evening. I'm Warner Saunders.
And I'm Allison Rosati. It was a heart stopper, a one-point game with just seconds to go, but a remarkable comeback by the Bulls turned to heartache on Utah's home turf. Salt Lake City is just the first step in the Bulls' quest for success. Tonight, we get to relive some of the magic and not so magic moments and hear from the players as well as the fans in our team coverage, starting with News Channel 5's John Kelly, who joins us live from the Delta Center where the game just finished up. John?
Well, Allison, the Bulls let a huge opportunity slip away to grab game one out here in Utah. They were hoping to catch the Jazz rusty and out of sync following that 10-day layoff where they didn't play a single game. And much of the way, it looked like Utah was having trouble. Unfortunately for the Bulls, they were unable to take advantage. So instead of stealing home court advantage and taking control, the Bulls let it slip away as Utah takes a 1-0 series lead. This one wild right down to the finish. Late in the ball game, Bulls down 2, 14 seconds to go. MJ kicks it over to Luke Longley. The big man from down under knocks it down, and we are going to overtime. In the extra period, the Jazz up 2, clock winding down. John Stockton, big tonight, floating in, nails a crucial basket as Utah holds off the Bulls 88-85, and they grab a 1-0 series lead. And really, the Jazz at this point have to feel lucky, almost let it slip away. Michael Jordan big at the end. Scottie Pippen hit a big shot, but they could not close the deal, so the Jazz grab a 1-0 series lead and have a chance to go up 2-0 on Friday. The Bulls will have to come out here, regroup, but at the same time, the Bulls can't feel too bad. Almost snatched the first one. They'll have a chance again, as we say, on Friday. We'll have more coming up in sports and postgame, reporting live from the Delta Center where the Bulls fall short. John Kelly, News Channel 5 Sports.
Thanks, John. The fans are certainly jazzed up for this rematch, keeping things quite lively during tonight's game. Let's go back to Salt Lake City, where Phil Walters is outside the Delta Center. Hi, Phil.
Hey, how are you? And the fans are pouring out into a light rain here. It's been raining all night. They are happy down there, jumping up and down, but not the ecstasy we witnessed a year ago. Perhaps it was just a lot closer than they thought. What we're seeing, I think, is relief down there. But you can believe that that crowd leaves thinking it made a difference. And maybe it did. So loud, it hurts. How could it be so loud? Before the game tonight, we tracked down one of the Delta Center architects for an explanation. Lots of concrete and plastic seats, he said.
The acoustical level gets very high. A lot of it is reflected back into the space rather than lost.
Well, the United Center has lots of concrete too, and it doesn't sound like this.
Chicago's too sensitive. They're wimps. Don't worry about it.
I can't hear you. What was that?
Fireworks at 110 decibels. An opening crowd roar of 104, higher upstairs. And even a free throw can set off a reaction louder than a jet taking off. I suspect that flat metal ceiling, but the architect says no, the ceiling has acoustic holes with sound-absorbing backing. You're telling me it could be worse?
Oh, yes.
Were you going for a 100 decibel level?
Well, let me say this. We felt if we could get into Phil Jackson's head.
No, you didn't build this with Phil Jackson in mind. Don't give it.
But we know he's a crybaby.
Oh, so just a joke, he said, but what a nasty joke. Actually, the architect credits that crowd down there with the noise and insists that he didn't design the building to be that loud. It just turned out that way. Live in Salt Lake City, Phil Walters, News Channel 5. Back to you.
Phil, thank you. Keep your powder dry.
All right. Jazz, Jerry Sloan is taken to the podium. Let's hear what he has to say about tonight's game.
Coach, was Carl having a problem with the wrist at all during tonight's game?
No.
Coach,
It seemed that every time you penetrated, you got something out of it. Do you think you settled too much for the jump shots, especially?
Well,
Brian?
first of all, they block shots. They got some great athletes. We're planning us. You know, Jordan and Pippen are tremendous athletes. They're great defenders. Rodman, Harper has been very tough for us to play against. These guys are longer than we are, and they're quicker. And guys are reluctant to go in there sometimes. We got a couple baskets to the basket when Carl on a pick and roll where Carl was able to split a couple guys and get there. But other than that, we didn't get a lot.
Winning coach Jerry Sloan giving some credit to our Bulls tonight. True Bulls fans have full confidence in the team, but the odds are against them. Check this out. The last 5 times the same teams have met in back-to-back finals, no team has ever won both series. But don't tell that to the fans who packed the United Center tonight to watch the game. As Amy Stone tells us, these Bulls fans believe, right, Amy?
They sure do, Allison. If you can't be at the Delta Center this week, the United Center is the next best place. More than 6,000 Bulls fans on hand for Bulls Bash 98. They're going home a bit disappointed, but they had a great time cheering on the world champs. For just $10, they had a chance to experience the aura of a Bulls game. The only difference, the players were on the Jumbotron, not on the court. For just $10, Bulls Bash 98 buys you everything. The Lovables, Benny the Bull, crazed fans, plenty of signs, everything, except but that didn't faze the faithful.
I never dreamed of being this close up. It's a miracle to me to be this close.
People who can't afford to come to a real game can always take their kids here and have a good time.
I think they're even louder than the regular crowd. I mean, these people never get into the United Center. They never see the games unless it's on TV, and they're just so happy to be here. And I mean, you can tell by the way they're dressed, the clothes they're wearing. These are the Bulls fans, and it's great. It gives us energy.
It's exciting. My adrenaline is pumping. Great, I love it.
For $10, not a bad price, not a bad deal. A Bulls Bash #2 takes place Friday, same time, same place, hopefully different outcome. Reporting live from the United Center, Amy Stone, News Channel 5. Now we go to Robin George with a Bulls Bash of a different sort.
That's right, Amy. The Chicago Bulls and Tony Kukoc in particular have some really big fans among the Chicago Croatian community. A group of parishioners from Angel Guardian Catholic Church here gathered tonight to cheer for one of their own. In the Dugangic household, the number to wear is not 23, it's 7. Tony Kukoc is the star here. Christina Dugangic has an autographed picture.
Za Kristinu sve najbolje u životu, Tony Kukoc.
Best wishes, Kukoc writes. The Croatian connection, a source of great pride.
Just seeing him on the court just makes me proud to be Croatian.
We're kind of an underdog country, and it's really nice when someone from a smaller country gets recognized for something that he or she does really well.
Kukoc comes from the ancient town of Split, Croatia, where the modern-day Bulls are so popular the games are shown live there at 2 or 3 in the morning.
At least when he steps on the floor and announcer announces, and now here is from Split, Croatia, Tony Kukoc.
And Father Nick says his mother, who didn't understand a word of English, would watch every Bulls game praying with her rosary and would only ask after the game how Tony Kukoc did. I think he could have used some of her prayers tonight. Reporting live on the night team, Robin George, News Channel 5.
And what were the keys to tonight's game? Was it the bench scoring? Was it the rest or the fatigue factor? What?
Well, let's find out from Tom Scherer, who is glued to the set like the rest of us.
All of those, plus the old guys. Don't rip age. Utah won it with its veterans. Karl Malone struggled for most of the night, but still wound up with big shots. John Stockton was big from start to finish, too. They were significant factors in the Jazz victory in this opener. Crunch time belongs to the best players. Michael Jordan did it for the Bulls, but these guys did it for Utah. You saw Malone hit a big one there. He hit 2 big jumpers in the final 2 minutes. Both of these are from regulation. He finished with 21 points. Then you go to the overtime and you find none other than John Stockton picking a pocket, getting a steal, going all the way for the basket and the foul. 7 of his 24 in the overtime. By contrast, veterans Pippen and Kukoc had just 11 for 31 shooting for the Bulls, so not a good situation. Stockton and Malone did it. Let's go to John Stockton now live at the podium in Salt Lake City.
they're champions, and they know what to do, and we need to step up to that level and be ready to play on Friday.
John, now it's over. Were you worried about the 10 days off? Could you feel the 10 days off, and is it a relief to beat them under these circumstances?
It's a relief to win anyway. The 10 days off was a very long time. I'm not claiming I was rusty or anybody else was. It was asked to me before. It's just a long time to sit there and wonder and think about the next series when last year we were just thrust into it, and in a way I think that helped us just to go out and play. This time we had a long time to think about it.
And you know, last year stuck with these Jazz players for a year. They've learned a little bit.
They have, indeed.
Thanks, Tom. And of course, Game 2 is Friday, and you can see it right here on NBC5. It starts at 8 o'clock once again. Set your clocks. And the replay of tonight's game, if you really want to see it again, it's at 2:15 a.m. right here on NBC5.
I think I'll check it out. Among the injuries often suffered by basketball players, knee injuries are near the top of the list. Ahead, new techniques to get athletes back on their feet.
And up next, additional fallout from the death of a teen just outside Ravenswood Hospital. This time, the city's 911 system is under attack.
Thanks, Dad.
You can't do this with Caravan.
Thanks.
You can't do it with Windstar.
Thanks, Pop.
A little help? Only the Chevy Venture is available with a remote control sliding side door. It's the perfect accessory for the overworked father. Now choose low 1.9% APR financing or $1,500 cash back on Chevy Venture. See your dealer today. Chevy Venture, let's go.
In the tradition of Disney's greatest musicals, now you can own Walt Disney's 10th animated masterpiece for the first time ever. Melody Time. Featuring one of your favorite Disney characters, Donald Duck. Now, for the very first time on video, you'll want to share these timeless, colorful musical stories with your family. Don't miss your chance to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney's Melody Time. On sale now.
Sensei, we need new uniforms.
Sorry, our server's down. Do you have a catalog number?
Yes. DB15.
3B50, sure.
No, DB15.
Got it.
No. Sensei, we need new uniforms.
When HP Net servers with Intel Pentium 2 processors power your e-business, always in business.
Casino. Your biggest nights happen here.
A highly charged meeting tonight as residents of Cabrini Green demand action. They claim police kicked down doors and damaged apartments during a search for a suspect. It started after 2 Chicago police officers were shot and wounded by sniper fire on Saturday. CHA Police Chief Leroy O'Shield attended tonight's meeting with some 50 angry residents. O'Shield promised to work towards solutions along with Chicago police and city officials. He died after being denied help by Ravenswood Hospital, but now the Better Government Association says others share blame for Christopher Searcy's death. The BGA charges the city's 911 system failed to respond quickly enough. BGA Executive Director Terry Brunner says it took at least 5 calls to 911 before an ambulance left for the scene.
This is a classic picture of bureaucratic red tape woven into such a rat's nest of catch-22s that the result was complete inaction by everybody involved.
The city's 911 system defends its workers, saying they responded with, quote, the utmost care and professionalism.
A 911 tape released today holds clues to the death of entertainer Phil Hartman. According to police, Bryn Hartman shot and killed her husband, then went to the home of a friend, Ron Douglas. It was Douglas who called 911 after returning with Bryn to the Hartman home.
Was this on purpose, or is this an accident, or what? Do you know what happened?
I have no idea. She came to my house and she was drunk. She said she had killed her husband. I didn't believe her.
And while he helped police remove the couple's children from the house, Mrs. Hartman killed herself. Douglas says he thought he had taken Bryn Hartman's only gun.
We want to take you back out now to Utah, where Bulls coach Phil Jackson has taken the podium.
You know, I thought we played real well. Had a good identification on what we were trying to do with Malone, although he had a tough night shooting. Stockton picked up for him tonight.
Phil, why did you begin the second quarter with the lineup that you did, and ultimately how damaging was that?
Next question.
Can you talk about Luke Longley's play to tie the game, and then talk about Luke Longley's play where he fumbled it, the differences in them?
Well, it's just a miscommunication out there in the offensive opportunity. We got out of our offense. They ran us out of our offense. We tried to occupy the defenders and get Steve a shot, and it didn't work out that way. Luke had a clock running down and had to go.
Well, as you know, it's such an emotional game. We did want to get back to Phil Jackson in between other news stories.
And he's obviously upset by the turnout of that game. Well, we've heard of transplanted organs. Now, surgeons are using cartilage to repair torn knees. It's the source of the cartilage that may surprise you. The story up next.
Yo, down here. I'm the Brooklyn Bridge. You think you could take me? You want a piece of me, huh? Let's go. You and me. Right now.
The undeniably smooth, ever luxurious ES300. The road is calling. Answer it.
I got your fancy suspension right here.
You'll save a lot of money by switching from cellular to prime.
Any more coffee?
Act now and save up to $100. Plus, register for your chance to win the Primeco Chicago Cubs Live Your Dreams sweepstakes.
You know, with free voicemail and free caller ID, we saved a lot of money by switching from cellular.
Yeah, that was one of your better ideas.
Did you leave your sneakers in the dryer again?
Call 1-800-PRIMECO.
You're watching News Channel 5, and tomorrow beginning at 4. Parents, what if someone told you there's a new law that requires kids to spend 25 hours behind the wheel with a parent before they get a driver's license? Learn more about this new law. Tomorrow beginning at 4 on News Channel 5.
If I could talk to the animals, oh yeah. Imagine how amazing it would be.
Welcome to Animal Planet, the television channel devoted exclusively to our fascination with animals.
Talk with them, run with them, squeak with them, squawk with them, and they could talk to me.
Animal Planet, all animals, all the time.
For many athletes, a twist of the knee can later become crippling arthritis, but several years ago, doctors started replacing cartilage taken from rather unusual sources.
News Channel 5's Amy Jacobson tells us how this technique is working. Amy?
Well, that technique, taking cartilage out of cadavers and putting the tissue into injured knees. Doctors have been performing the surgery for a few years, and now the results are in.
Oh, wait a minute, that's going to be a...
It happened to Chris Zorge of the Bears. Leslie Frazier's knee injury ended his NFL career. And former players like Dan Reeves can't even stand for long before their knees begin to swell. What's more, Ball State researchers say nearly half of NFL joint injuries eventually lead to painful, sometimes disabling arthritis. And it's not just in the NFL.
And that cartilage begins to wear and tear. All you're left is with bone on bone.
It happened to Chicago's Matt Doucette. High school and college ball led to operation after operation. Damage to his meniscus cartilage caused inflammation, pain, and arthritis. Matt couldn't even stand with his friends at a crowded concert anymore.
I could probably stand for about a half hour, and then all of a sudden my knees just started aching, and you know, that you can just feel the swelling, and then I'd have to find a stool.
Until recent years, Matt had few options except painkillers. He was too young for a total knee replacement. Rush Presbyterian Hospital's Dr. Brian Cole is buying time for Matt. He'll take bone plugs from elsewhere in Matt's knee and fill the hole created by Matt's arthritis. The drilled holes will fill in on their own. But first, Dr. Cole repairs Matt's damaged meniscus cartilage with a new one from a cadaver donor. The cadaver meniscus has been frozen.
Okay, here's the meniscus.
It is disease-free, and now Dr. Cole goes to work like a craftsman. measuring it and shaping it to fit exactly into Matt's knee.
This is meniscus about to go into the knee. Can I have a Z retractor?
The cadaver bone slides into a channel bored in Matt's knee and stitches lock it into place. Next, Dr. Cole repairs the arthritis, tapping 3 bone plugs into place. After 8 hours, it's done.
We're not only in the short run are we decreasing pain, decreasing swelling, providing a more stable knee. If we can prevent the knee from going on to develop progressive arthritis, then I think we have solved a very big problem.
Matt is confident it will work. A year ago, he had the same operation on his other knee with great results.
When I go to step, I got a nice, I can feel it's almost like a little pillow in there. I mean, on a pain level of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, it's at times a 1. So it's really improved.
Now, Matt will need those crutches for the next 2 to 4 weeks, and doctors say he'll regain full range of motion in his knee within 3 months. However, they don't advise patients return to high-level sports like football or rugby.
Okay,
Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome. She just whispered in my ear, stormy in Utah tonight.
Are you whispering in his ear again, Shelley?
The pacing thing that we're all doing. If you could just see the behind-the-scenes thing. Yeah, all right, the post-game. Fireworks going off in Utah, and we had our own fireworks here tonight in Chicago at Navy Pier. Currently 54 degrees. The winds are calm, partly cloudy skies. Hopefully the grand finale in Salt Lake will be better for us on Friday night. We are officially in between storm systems. Clear skies right now, but if you'll notice in southern Illinois, there is a weak system that by tomorrow afternoon late and on into Thursday night looks like it will once again give us a chance of some scattered showers. Overnight, we're going to go with partly cloudy skies. In a word, chilly. Overnight lows expected to drop tonight into the low and mid 40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, and then late tomorrow night, and especially Friday, we've got a chance of some scattered showers, possibly Friday, some afternoon thunder showers as well. But gosh, look at that. Just in the nick of time. Clears out in time for the weekend. We'll get them next.
Yeah, that's right.
We better get them next
Storms in Utah,
time.
storms in Chicago.
Hey.
We'll be right back with more sports.
Later on an all-new Tonight Show, it's payback time. When some practical jokers get theirs, plus Sandra Bullock's naughty Brazilian adventure, Magic Johnson surprising NBA Finals predictions, Talk Show 101, world champion frog jumping, and more revenge. Ooh, this could get ugly. What am I saying? It already is ugly. Stay up for Sandra Bullock and Magic Johnson. And High Five, Scott Wolf, Party of 5, plus the Red Hot Flea. And if they made it, an idea so terrifying it could be the end of late night as we know it.
It's the first website that I've ever seen that I looked at and went, this is what the web should be.
The more books you order from Amazon.com, the more they get to know you, and they make personal recommendations.
And it's very, very fast. It's fun, it's vast, it piques my interest.
He was in a hurry. No problem. Thank you, sir. Avis Roving Rapid Return had him checked in under a minute. And then I heard it, a pager. And when I saw the message, I knew I had to find the owner.
Avis cars come with Avis people, and trying harder is what they do best.
Dr. Baxter, I think you left this in the car. Home.
I need a phone.
Yes, sir. I'll bet you somebody out there is glad we try harder.
We try harder, Avis.
Circuit City has guaranteed low prices on the latest computers right now. Save $100 on this Packard Bell computer system featuring a 266 megahertz processor with Media GX technology. The package includes a monitor and Canon color printer, all for only $1199.99 after $100 mail-in rebate. And right now, all Sony phones are on sale at Circuit City, like this Sony 25-channel cordless phone and digital answering machine, just $99.99. Save today at Circuit City.
As soon as I learned to type Amazon.com, I could get my way to about 2,500,000 books, so it's remarkably easy.
I like not standing in line. I just sit here and punch one button, and my book's on the way. Amazon.com gives such great discounts that even with the shipping, you come out ahead.
Real-time closed captioning on News Channel 5 is brought to you in part by Jiffy Lube, Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana's favorite oil change.
I think tomorrow's going to feel like a Monday morning.
Yes, after a big party.
Yeah.
Blue Monday morning.
The wrong way. For the Bulls, the birthplace of their unhappiness tonight was the Delta Center. Home court helped Utah, though it wasn't that big a difference. A close one in tonight's opener of the NBA Finals. Utah having the home court has been a matter of concern for good reason. They play well there, but still the Bulls hung tough. Big three by Scottie Pippen with 2.5 to go in regulation. He had 21. Watch the play by Michael Jordan here. Pippen had tied it. Jordan gets it to Luke Longley in the closing seconds. This tied it again, and it was on to overtime against the big bucket for Luke. But Utah was up by 2 with 3.5 to go. Pippen gets it picked off. John Stockton with the basket and the foul. He had 24 points. Hornacek, big defense on the play as well. And then with time running out, the Bulls down by 3. Broken play. Pippen can tie it again. Take it, Scotty. No. And that's the way it finished, 88-85. The Bulls' quest for success is off to an inauspicious start. More now from John Kelly, live in Utah.
As we saw, Tom, not a real pretty game by either team. A couple of bloody heavyweights just slugging it out down the stretch. But I'll tell you, Utah's got to think this was a beautiful victory for them. The Bulls come on strong, but never able to close the deal. While Karl Malone was brutal shooting, the rest of the Jazz step up and weather a late storm by the Bulls. Right now, Michael Jordan has just stepped to the podium. Let's check him out.
I think we had a play set, and I think Scotty got confused in terms of what the play was, so we had to start it back over again. And I never really noticed the clock, and no one really noticed the clock. And next thing you know, we had a 24-second violation. We made a lot of mental mistakes down the stretch, but I mean, fortunately we had a chance to win, and they made the baskets when they had to make it. But I mean, we came in and gave a good effort, I think.
Michael, so much has been said about the possibility of fatigue and all that sort of thing coming in the altitude. Was fatigue a big factor down the stretch?
Well, I mean, I think both teams were tired a little bit, and that's when you start having turnovers like that. Something has to be the reason for that, and missing free throws and stuff like that. But whoever capitalize or minimize their turnovers and make their free throws is going to win those types of games. But I didn't really have time enough to think about if I was tired. At one point, I did get tired, and I called a timeout. But other than that, I felt pretty good. I didn't feel like the beginning of the game. But I played 46 minutes, so you're gonna get some way tired.
Well, with Michael having some weak legs tonight, John Stockton feeling strong when they needed it. 9 of 12 shooting, 24 points as the Jazz take control 1-0 in this series. And if you're wondering if Dennis Rodman's still heading over to Vegas, well, he had an 11 o'clock local time flight planned to go. He has to get permission from Phil Jackson. We'll let you know tomorrow. Bulls try to bounce back Friday. Reporting live from the Delta Center, John Kelly, News Channel 5 Sports.
All right, John, thanks. It's a little late to try and rein in Rodman. The Marlins knew they were in the doghouse at Wrigley Field as soon as Cubs strikeout king Kerry Wood took the mound. 9 Ks for Wood today and another Cubs win.
With the Bulls now in front, 3-2. Tonight, after your late local